We all spend way too much time on the internet. I know I do. Searching for answers to questions about dating that would be better solved in the real world. But still, we do it. So let's at least see what we can learn. Recently, I've fallen down the rabbit hole of the different dating ideologies known as the pills. If you don't know what the pills are, I'll give a very quick summary of each one. To go much deeper than this, and I'll be making separate videos to see if any of them carry merit in the future. Okay, so the blue and red pill are obviously a dichotomy of each other, as originally shown in the Matrix, with the red pill opening you up to the truth, no matter how unpleasant that may be, and the blue pill keeping you in blissful ignorance. In the dating world, I would say that red pill believes you must work on yourself to become a high status man, and then you will get women, which should be an afterthought. The blue pill basically believes that you should follow what society tells you. It's just traditional dating advice. Just be yourself, just be nice. Everything will work out in the end. The one is out there. And the black pill states all that matters in dating is your looks. And your looks are determined by your genetics and the science behind facial genetics. I've noticed that you can take parts from all of the pills, but none of them have got it spot on. Because it's just not possible. Women are individuals and cannot be put into some concrete system. But more importantly, they've turned dating into a mathematical problem that can be solved using binary code representing scale systems from 1 to 10 to dictate what women you will end up with. I think you'll find that women don't look at the world like Neo. Now, I know these scales in some cases are not meant to be literal and are used to illustrate a point, but I also think a lot of people take them as an absolute, where in fact there is a huge amount of grey area. You could not grab an 8 out of 10 woman from the street, stick her with a 10 out of 10 man from the street, and simply expect sparks to fly. Not that we should be giving people scores based solely on looks anyway. As I'll say it again, it's subjective and based on many other factors. I mean, should we be giving people scores at all? Is that helpful to people? As I said, we are not an equation. Now, according to Waffles, who, if you don't know, is a famous black pill YouTuber, women only date up, i.e. they are hypergamous, which is in itself subjective. Who is saying what up is? Well, subjectively to me, lol, I have dated up several times. It's been over a year since I came out of my last relationship of 5 years. I've been taking some time out to work on my business, but that feeling of maybe I could give casual dating a bit of a go has crept back in. So anyway, I thought, you know what? If dating has become this mathematical problem that it seems to have become to a lot of guys, maybe there is some advice worth taking. It can't all be bad, right? So I've had my face rated, analysed, and been given Looksmaxxing Advice by Waffles himself to get an idea as to where I would be at in this world of black pill dating. Quick disclaimer before we get to my rating. At this moment in time, I'm not a huge believer in any of the pills completely. I take a bit of information here and there. For example, I'm in Hamza's Discord server, and some of the stuff he preaches is good. Meditation, fitness, working on a better you is all golden. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, you don't believe in the rating system, so why are you getting yourself rated? Firstly, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So I have to do my research, and what better way than to just go and straight up get myself rated? Then I can see where these guys are coming from and have more information at my disposal to help them. And you never know, it might work. And if it does, I'll hold my hands up and I'll say I'm wrong. I'm very open-minded and I have no problem in being proved wrong. In fact, I welcome it. That just means I have more knowledge than I did before. You can't learn without making mistakes first. Right, so to understand why Waffles has said what he said, despite my feelings on the matter, I spent a good amount of time studying the reasons certain faces are evolutionarily attractive and why. There is no point in me getting given a score without knowing what it means. So we're going to go through my analysis, my good and bad features, and the reasons behind why they matter, and I'm going to be completely unbiased and accept the score as if I was someone that completely believed in the scale system. We'll see if the Looksmaxxing Advice is worth doing, and finally, I'll give you my experience as to whether getting yourself analysed will help or hinder you. I thought, considering we're talking about my looks, I'd get a bit dressed up for the occasion. Got my suit on. So let's start with my best features. Number one, I've got good eyebrow shape. Eyebrow shape adds to the aesthetics of a conventionally good-looking face, which means better genetics to pass on to your children, which in turn means a partner will be more attracted to you. But what's really interesting about the eyebrows is the emotion that they display. So a study was conducted on lip readers, and it was found that they looked at the entire face to figure out what was going on, but they mainly focused on on the lips and the eyebrows so that they could understand the whole conversation, which I thought was interesting. You'll see later in this list though that this is sort of a contradiction, but I could be wrong. So anyway, my best feature, eyebrows. Put that on my resume. Dr. Nobody, best eyebrows in the world. Jeremy Clarkson would have a field day with that one.
If you are interested in aesthetics in the world.
Number 2, blue eyes. A study has actually been done that show people do prefer lighter coloured eyes. But in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter much. I think it's more just a cope that white people hang on to who aren't very attractive. Yeah, I don't look great, but I have got blue eyes. Your eye shape far outweighs the positives of the colour of your eye. But it is a positive, just a very small one. So I'll take it because I do not have many. Number 3, I have a positive canthal tilt. This is the angle between the medial canthus, i.e. the inner corner of the eyes, and the lateral canthus, the outer corner of the eyes. Again, according to the professionals, a positive one creates a V-taper, which is apparently more attractive. What I found interesting about that was we find the V-taper physique attractive and we also find the V-taper eye attractive. What is it about the V that we're so drawn to? Number 4, good hair thickness and texture. Okay, we all know about balding, bad genetics, going to be passed on to your kids. Therefore, a partner would rather you weren't bald. We get it. But again, there is a bit of a contradiction later in the list to this. To be fair to him, he did actually say, well, you'll see. Number 5, good facial definition and low body fat. Now this is completely obvious. I'm very passionate about this. You are obviously going to look better if you're not fat. And it's not fat shaming or anything like that. It's just to do with the mindset you must have to have a low body fat percentage. It's related to your personality. It shows that you have the discipline to take care of your body and eat healthy, which is becoming rarer every single year. With 67% of men being overweight and 60% of women being overweight, including 26% of men who are fucking obese and 29% of women who are obese. This is something we have complete control over that we can change. Obviously, society is set up in a way where we have access to so much junk food, and it's so comforting, especially if you're not having a great life, to sit down in front of Netflix and order a pizza. It takes you out of reality for a bit. It makes you feel good. You forget about all your stresses, and society is set up that way so the corporations can make more money from ruining your health. So you've got to ask yourself, are you going to let corporations dictate the time of your death? Potentially. And you can see it's mental health problems that are causing it. And I completely agree. Mental health causes so many things. But I think in a lot of cases, if people just exercised, ate healthy, and meditated, they would find that their mental health problems were gone. It's just sort of paradoxically impossible to do those things while you have mental health problems. Do you understand what I mean? It's like the reason I can't exercise and I binge eat is because I'm depressed and anxious. But the reason I'm depressed and anxious is because I don't exercise and binge eat. It's a fucking paradox. It's a very difficult one to get out of. Anyway, on to something a little bit softer. I get a bit passionate about that one because it can really help some people's mental health. So I have to say it. I can't sugarcoat that one, I'm afraid. I apologise if I've offended anyone. I do not mean to. Number 6, a straight mandible. You're gonna learn a lot more about this and the jawline as we go through my bad features, which there are a lot of, but this is my final best feature. So let's enjoy the moment. Let's savour this straight mandible. So in our anatomy, it's taught that the mandible should line up with the nasal, and anything below that is considered a recessed jawline. So I'm guessing mine lines up, as he's not said it's recessed, although he did say it wasn't grown forward enough. Maybe it's the same thing. Okay, now let's start tearing my already torn apart face to pieces. The bad features. Sit back and enjoy as I take you through the terrors of a 4 out of 10 face. Number 1, significant facial asymmetry. In mate selection, people have shown to have a preference for facial symmetry, as it means to better genetics being handed down to your children. And if we take a look at my face, we can see that the left side and the right side don't match perfectly, hence the asymmetry. Now you see, this is something that I've never thought about before, but I can see that it is correct. I don't think the asymmetry is massive, although Wheat Waffles did say significant, which is a bit vague because it's like, what are we basing it on? There has to be some perfectly symmetrical face somewhere for comparison. And I don't know if such a face exists. But let's bring up Brad Pitt as a comparison. We all know that guy's a fucking dreamboat. So as you can see next to him, I don't look great. But then again, who does? Yes, I have a man crush on Brad Pitt. Leave me alone. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. He's a specimen. He's getting a bit old now, actually. Let's pull up a picture of him old. What do you think? Do you still do it for you? Number 2, curved lower lips causing scleral show. Scleral show is the white around your eyes. Ideally, you want the skin around your eyes to hide the scleral show around your iris. Otherwise, you end up tired. But the majority of people have scleral show to some degree. Eye shapes like Tom Cruise are extremely rare. And they're typically found in coicoid skull shapes because they have more prominent brow bone here. Eye exposure also changes throughout the day. Like when you wake up in the morning, there's likely to be more show because you actually are tired. It isn't a deal breaker as many people have it, but some people will get a canthoplasty to achieve the almond eye shape, which involves putting a bit of plastic under the tendon that holds your lower eyelids. I will not be doing that. So it seems that eyes can carry an entire face. Wait for that bloody motorbike to go past. And then that car. As we can see with this Tom Cruise picture that I'm going to put up on the screen now, if you change his eyes, his whole face really isn't that great. It's his eyes carrying his entire face. Mission possible. That makes no sense. Number 3, large eye orbits. In anatomy, the orbital bones are the socket bones that encase your eyes. Small socket bones produce wider, more desirable eye tapes, which again is influenced by skull type. The features of the eyes can't always be considered as good or bad across the board, as some features are considered feminine and some features are considered masculine, and this is known as sexual dimorphism. For example, large eye orbits and scleral show can actually look beautiful on a woman, whereas on a man, it doesn't. I guess I'm just a pretty woman, guys. Pretty woman, walking down the street, got my scleral show, and my eye orbits. Do you reckon Richard Gere would have bought me some shit? Bet he would have. Number 4, low set cheekbones. A well-defined, prominent high cheekbone is classically a sign of beauty in Western culture, and it has a significant impact on facial aesthetics and attractiveness. Hence there being an increase in procedures that involve mammillary contouring to achieve high cheekbones, to mirror those of Angelina Jolie or Kim Kardashian. Now, men also benefit from high cheekbones, as it gives them a leaner, more androgynous look that's grown in popularity. Now, I know I said in this section I was going to be completely unbiased as to the reasons that certain features were sought after, but I can't ignore this one. As I said, grown in popularity. What does that tell us? It tells us that at some point it was not necessarily a feature that was sought after. What does that therefore tell us? Well, it adds a bit of subjectivity to looks and describes it in almost a fashion type sense. As if to say, like, you know, high cheekbones are so in this century. You better get them high cheekbones, motherfucker. I'm living that high cheekbone dream. Let's go get some plastic surgery. I need them fucking high cheekbones. And as it's grown in popularity, that also opens it up to the possibility of it falling in popularity. So you see my point. Okay, back to the unbiased evolutionary viewpoint. Number 5, and this was my flaw. These last 2 flaws are causing bags under your eyes. This confused me a bit, as I wasn't sure if it was the 2 flaws that I just mentioned or the 2 flaws that are coming up. Maybe it was just a spelling error, I'm not entirely sure. I've asked him and I'll post it on my community tab, or if he replies before I finish making this video, I'll let you all know either way. But as for the bags under the eyes, these are a common problem that affect men and women equally. They're also known as infoorbital hyperpigmentation. It's a mouthful. They can make a person look dull, tired, or older than they actually are. Take a guess at my age. And no cheating, in fact I don't even think my age is right on my little YouTube thing. So the bags under the eyes can affect the facial aesthetics of the person and even the way people actually perceive them. They're more likely to be perceived as tired or incapable of keeping up, because it seems as if they're running at their maximum fatigue level. There are 4 types of these circles, bags under the eyes: P type, B type, S type, and M type. I won't go through them all, but from what we were Waffles has said I'm going to assume that I'm an S-type, which is structural, you know, because he talked about my eye orbit sockets and all of that, although I'm not entirely sure. So let me know in the comments if you know anything more about it. Number 6, overly rough skin texture. Okay, so admittedly, I don't have a skincare routine because I've never really thought about it. But apparently studies have been done that link Caucasian skin to being bright and smooth to fertility, fitness and health. So that's the evolutionary reasoning behind that. Honestly, I don't know whether my skin is good or bad, but I'll trust him. He's the professional and I've got no skincare routine, so fair point, he's probably correct. But again, just a little side tangent with this one. After that study was done linking Caucasian skin to being bright and smooth, what products do you think women started buying? Foundation and blusher, of course. Things like that do make me question certain aspects of things. Because in the great words of me, if there's a profit to be made, there's a lie to be said. It's pretty good, that, actually. I should write that down when I put it on cups. You see what I did there? But I can still understand good looking skin being an indicator of health, and obviously you want a healthy partner, of course you do. But who said that a certain skin type isn't healthy? And why? I mean, obviously if you're bright yellow and your liver's failing, then fair enough. But rough skin, maybe that shows hard work. What does it mean? Who knows? Let me know in the comments if you know anything about that one. 7, a narrowing lower third. So to get back to my jaw from the good parts of it, my straight mandible, this means that the lower third of my face is narrow and long. This indicates that the back part of my jaw is weak. Narrow, high jaw angles, and that my chin is vertically long. One of my mates has told me quite a few times that I've got a weak chin and that I should grow a beard. As you'll see soon, and as Wheat Waffles noted, can't grow a beard yet. Rest in peace, beard. Number 8, oversized forehead. Okay, this one is a bit weird. Do I? Never really thought about it before. But I guess Wheat Waffles has taken an average or something, and I can't seem to find much information on why this matters from an evolutionary standpoint. But I found a lot of information saying that it is genuinely a sign of intelligence. Now, is this true? Well, according to studies, yes. But I'm still a bit skeptical about that one. I can say though, and it might sound a bit arrogant, but whatever, fuck it, I'm getting my face torn to pieces here. I am very intelligent. You'll just have to take my word for it. Number 9, possible balding. This obviously would indicate bad genetics, which would be bad genetics passed on to your children, so it makes complete sense from an evolutionary standpoint. But, and I'm gonna sound like I'm in denial here, and maybe I am, but my hairline has always been like this. I've never once woke up, looked in the mirror and thought, that's moved further back today. And you can be born with a certain hairline, so it's either denial, it's so small I haven't noticed yet, I was just born with a little bit of a further back hairline, or I'm just not balding, which I hope, obviously. Wheat Waffles himself even said possibly. So for now, I'm not balding, at least in my head. I'll let you know if anything changes. Number 10, large mid-face ratio. So this is what he said, the ideal is 1:1, and that yours, meaning mine, is closer to 1.11, which gives a slightly elongated horse face appearance. The guy's called me a fucking horse. Jesus. It's so good, you ass. Lol. This one intrigued me, I'm not gonna lie. The mid-face ratio is the interpupillary distance divided by the distance from the midpoint of the pupils to the middle of the lips. And I was given a 1.11, which must mean that it's slightly skewed. And a little bit horsey. I'm gonna start walking around like a fucking horse. I'm gonna assume the evolutionary reason for this is the same as the asymmetrical face, i.e. better genetics, therefore better genetics that you're gonna pass on to your child, therefore the partner's gonna want you, so she's got all these genetically fucking perfect kids that don't like horses. But I can't notice it myself. Number 11, a thin upper lip. These are one of the most expressive parts of the human face, with 93% of our communication being non-verbal through expressive elements like the lips and the eyes. And how they look at rest, i.e. when you just sat there, it's a bit like that resting bitch face thing, will change the way we are perceived. Apparently fuller function lips appear youthful and desirable, while protruding unfunctional lips can reveal underlying dental conditions. This is a weird one for me, as I was always told I had huge lips. Perhaps it was the photo, but let's just say I do have a thin upper lip. How much impact is that actually gonna make in the way I am perceived? I mean, really? It's not like you can't see my lips. They're there. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you need these huge lips? I can see people's lips. I'm not blind. I've got huge eye orbits. I can see everywhere. But to me, it just seems very, very minute, almost just like not even worth mentioning. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Number 12, my eyebrows are a little thin. But he said I had good eyebrow shape in the first section, you know, with my 6 good features. And now they're too thin, so which one is it, mate? As for the eyebrows, obviously they're important for showing emotion and non-verbal cues, you know, like terrified and angry. You said I had good eyebrows, Wheat Waffles, and now you're saying they're thin. See my fucking positive tilt, cancel tilt anger here, boy. And I mean, to be fair to Wheat Waffles, he has put it really low on the importance scale. But thin eyebrows, that really matters. Thin eyebrows. If that truly matters, the world has gone mad. To put it short, if someone doesn't want to be with me because of my eyebrows, I don't fucking want to be with them because they must be fucking mental. Again, if anyone knows why this may be a bigger problem than I think, let me know in the comments, please. Number 13, misshapen teeth. This one is obvious and to be honest should be a lot higher up. A good set of teeth can make you look more genuine and approachable, and in my opinion it changes the entire face. I actually spent £1,500 getting my teeth done through Smile Direct. They're not great, but at the time it's all I could afford. They're like these see-through retainers that you put on and they push your teeth back slowly and straighten them. Well, they don't work as well as a brace because you can't actually move teeth down or around. And that is the only surgery I completely agree with. Because as I said, it completely changes your entire face. Like, I can't even smile properly. My mouth just stays closed. I don't know if this is because I think I've got bad teeth, so it's sort of happened over the years, it's like become a habit. Or if it's the actual shape of my teeth that's meaning my mouth doesn't open properly for a smile. Check my smile when I force one, it's like the Terminator. It's fucking horrible, honestly. So you can have that 100% with your Waffles. Number 14, thin neck. A red pill YouTuber I know called First Man, who by the way is very informative and very funny, and he's English, so I think a bit of his humour might get missed by Americans because it's really dry, but I completely get it all, obviously, as I'm English as well. I've just bought his book, The Male Advantage, actually, which I'll be making a video on at some point. But anyway, to get to the point of the thin neck, he talks about the importance of training your neck, and I'd never really thought about it until I'd seen his video, as with a lot of things on this list. But Wheat Waffles has said not to underestimate it. First Man talks about it, and I love fitness, and it is a muscle, so why not train it? There must be some other benefits to training it rather than it just being aesthetically pleasing, which I assume widens it out so it's more in line with your head, which just looks like a square, nicer shaped head. Like, I assume boxers must have strong necks, you know, to like protect them from being punched in the fucking face to ricochet back. You see, if it's fitness related, I'm all in every time. Being fit gives you so much more than just aesthetics. You're gonna live longer, your quality of life's gonna be better, and you're just gonna feel better all around. Fitness is just, you have to do it. We were literally made to hunt prey. So sitting down all the time is just a no-go.
Number 15, a short ramus. The rami are 2 vertical processes located on either side of the jaw. They join the body at the angle of the mandible at the superior aspect of each ramus. In other words, it's the distance between the bottom of your ears and your mandible, as you can see on the screen. And apparently, mine is too short. Who knew?
And finally, yes, there is an ending point to my worst features. Number 16, my jawline isn't forward grown enough. We know the evolution behind this, we've talked about it already, but I'm a little bit confused by this one. As he said, I had a straight mandible, so I was assuming a straight mandible would mean it was lining up with my nasal. Maybe I'm wrong though, and my friend has told me I've got a weak jaw, as I said before, but I just don't see how it isn't grown forward enough. Maybe I'm just being a little bit salty about this one. I don't know, but okay.
Okay, so we will finish up this video on whether I think being given a rating will help or hinder you, and we will talk about the message of the black pill. But firstly, Wheat Waffles gave me 2 sections of Looksmaxxing Advice, long-term and short-term. The long-term advice will need its own separate video, as I wouldn't dream of doing the blastoplasty, and I don't need a hair transplant currently, and if I did, I don't know if I would bother. And as for the fact that I'm white, meaning I could move to Southeast Asia to get women, it's just ridiculous. Would it work? I don't know. But the main point is I don't need to do it. I've never had a problem with women, and since starting this video, I've been on on a few dates and I'm happily chatting to some other girls. Although I must admit, the single lifestyle I've been enjoying for the past year is still quite appealing, and I don't know if I'm ready to change it yet. I also have such strong opinions on these topics that they cannot be dealt with within a few minutes, and I'll need to do a lot of research on them, but they will be addressed in the future. As for the short-term advice, number 1, start a skincare routine. He's right, I should look after my skin, and I've begun doing so. Number 2, minoxidil for my apparent hair loss. We've been through this, and at least for now, I'm fine. Denial. Number 3, castor oil. I bought some, but honestly, it's not done much. Seems a bit like
100% fucking snake oil. Classic.
Number 4, start training your neck. Again, we've been through this, and I have started, and you'll see the changes in future videos, and I'll keep you updated on my community page. Number 5, get a haircut. Sorry, man, but come on, this is advice. I guess my hair was fairly long at the time I sent the pictures in, but I do keep on top of it, so that's that. And finally, number 6, growing a beard. Again, we've been through this. I can't grow one, but you are correct, and I do agree, I would look better. And I guess here's hoping it'll kick in at some point, and if not, I guess I'm not having a beard. Now, should we be getting ourselves rated, and should we listen to black pill advice? Well, firstly, if you're just genuinely interested like I was, or want some looksmaxxing advice, that I mean, and I have to say it, with regards to your facial aesthetics only, is evolutionarily correct, then okay, sure, that's fine. Just make sure you are mentally prepared to be able to take it, and realize that it is not the only thing that matters. And this works both ways. If you are a Chad or Stacy 10 out of 10, and you think that because of this you can get any woman or man you want, you will find out very quickly that this is not the case, and that you need more than just looks to impress the opposite sex in the long term. And to those who receive a low score, please listen to me carefully. Black pill advice dictating all that matters when trying to find a partner is your looks. It's the biggest load of horse shit I have ever heard in my life. Not only is it horse shit, it's downright dangerous. Taking away the hopes of men and women alike is literally a sin. A young, impressionable teenager who already believes they don't look great and therefore don't have a chance with the opposite sex is the type of stuff that causes suicides. And this is not a hyperbole. Men and women alike will be killing themselves because they believe they have no chance of finding a partner they want to be with because they don't fit the looks criteria that the black pill preaches. There is no mathematical equation. The scale system doesn't even exist. The amount of variables you have to take into account when attracting a woman or a man are unquantifiable. Everyone is an individual. Everyone wants different things in their partners. You just need to be the best version of yourself. You need to work on yourself. You need to be happy with yourself. And this is easier said than done, I know, but sat there thinking I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 10, I'll never get the partner I want is the most counterproductive, ridiculous scenario I can ever imagine. There are many things outside of your control, and there are many things inside of your control. Learn how to control the things you can. And again, that is easier said than done. I struggle all the time. But hey, what else have you got to do today? I hope you enjoyed the video. Firstly, go outside and get off YouTube. Then when you get back, have a watch of this video. I tore my house apart, a bit like Waffles tore my face apart.